And also based on that, I give you a very first lesson of learning um, social sciences in general. That when you want to learn social science, don't learn by heart. Don't try to memorize everything. You don't learn by heart. Learn from your feeling. Okay. They say actually in Vietnamese, we translate it into học thuộc lòng, right? You try to memorize everything, but the real meaning of học thuộc lòng is learn by heart. If you want to memorize everything, you learn by your heart, by your feeling, by your emotion. And and if you want to learn by your emotion, by your heart, you have to see it before you can feel it. Okay, so you have to see it. So it means that visual. You have to have the ability to visualize everything, so you can see it and you can feel it and you can join it, and then when it get into your heart, you can learn it. Okay? So don't try to just memorize, simply memorize everything. You cannot for sure. I assure you. Trust me, because I am a physics student, I'm a mathematics student, and then I changed my major into social science. And until now, I cannot say that I'm so successful, but I'm satisfied with my ability now. Okay? And I am not so successful, but I'm so proud. I'm so proud that people in Vietnam know my name. When they talk about IR, they know my name. So that's good enough. You don't need to be a super scientist, but just people. When they talk about South China Sea, they talk about constructivism. They know there's a name like Nguyễn Tuấn Khanh. Okay, that's fine. That's enough for me, and I can do it. I can do it. It's not because I'm good. I'm not good. I'm normal like you. I'm normal like you. Okay. I'm sharing a lot of feeling with you guys that I hate history. I hate geography. I hate literature. You see, there are three subjects I hate the most: is the literature, the history, and geography. So when you guess that I like geography, it's so funny. But in Vietnamese, it usually say it's a group of they name it the C group, right? Văn sử địa, three subjects. But my thesis of graduation in my bachelor degree is the elements of geopolitics, geography. Thesis, I write the thesis. It's in literature already, right? So first subject literature. The second is the geography elements. I'm sorry, geopolitics element in the history of foreign policy of United States. So three subjects include in my thesis already. That is a great move of myself in my own history. Something I hate the most now appeared in my thesis for my graduation. Okay, that's the first thing. Learning by heart, and you can do it. You can do it as long as you can put that into your heart. You put it. I don't put it. I just show you how to put that into your heart. And the thing that who put it, you do it yourself. Okay, that is self-study. And one more thing is reading. I know it's a nightmare for all of the students, especially in social science. Reading. Those who love book, who have the hobbies of book reading, okay, that's fine for you. That's good. That's a good news for you. But for those who don't worry. Reading book is not so difficult. You still love to read, I know. Maybe you read fiction. Uh, you read like like anime or something. I bet that during your childhood, maybe you're familiar with Doraemon, uh, or some of the fiction book like that, right? But the non-fiction book is the same. The fiction book is preferable for more people because they have the photo, they have the pictures, they have the anime, they have so many things visualized. So when we read the non-fiction book, there's a lot of letters, there's a lot of words. Uh, but the point is that based on your studying and from your instructor, they give you a lot of example. It means they give you a lot of example, imagined situations, so you can visualize in your mind first, and then you apply it when you read the books. So it will be similar to reading a fiction book. Very easy. It's very easy. Don't worry too much. When you read a book, try to think that you are reading a story. The third point is about the language. It's true that our major, all of our knowledge coming from the West, starting in Europe, and it spread in the world. In the main language is English. So learning in English is a problem for us. Language always a problem. But don't worry too much. We use English for learning IR. Our target is learning IR. It's not about being a writer or a composer in English. So don't worry too much about the grammar. Don't worry too much about the language. It's just a tool, okay? It's just a mean for us to use. It's not an end. English is not an end, or any other foreign languages. It's not an end. It's a tool. It's the same for me. I can speak English. I can speak Japanese. I can speak Chinese. I can speak a little bit of Laos. I can speak a little bit of Khmer, because those are tools for me to survive in the societies. I've been to Laos. I've been to Cambodia. I stayed in Phnom Penh for 2 years. I teach at the university, at the Royal University of Phnom Penh. And I stay in Japan for 2 years. I stay in the United States for 1 year. I travel a lot around the Southeast Asia. It's the same. I share some of with some of you here that also travel a lot. Love traveling. That's saying, yes, like Nguyen Anh, right? You say that you travel a lot and you want to travel to Europe. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've never been there too. I hope that one day. There's a lot of my friends from Laos. I don't know why, but almost of my Laos friends now they become ambassador of Laos to Europe. Um, or they're working as the diplomats in Europe. Uh, three of my friends now they are ambassador. So great, and I hope that one day I can go to Europe. Um, yeah, traveling is good, and I know all of the languages from my traveling, from my walking, and it's for surviving. It's a tool. You don't need to have a very nice language as long as you are understandable. That'd be fine. You can make people understand you. You can understand people, and that is the target of us using language as a tool. In this case, English. So don't worry too much that oh my pronunciation is not good, my language or my grammar skill is not good. Maybe you get mad. No, I don't get mad at that. Okay, but when you're trying, you don't know that vocabulary, you don't know that terminology, but you're trying to express yourself in some other way. That is the time you brainstorming, and that's good for you. You know how to deal with the situation. That's a very good skill that you might need it in the future. So try to have a conversation as much as possible in any kind of topic. Okay, and this is a very good preparation for you in the next 2 years in Australia, if they can. Right. So that's the third point. Don't be so embarrassed. Don't be too shy when you speak in English. If you have chance to do so, just do it. Just do it. They cannot judge that you are smart or you are stupid with your English skill. I know that my English is not so good. I'm not a writer. I cannot compare with a writer or composer. They have a very nice language. I cannot. But people can understand me. I can understand them. That's it. Okay? So don't worry too much. There's a lot of students in my class. They worry that, okay, English using like this, like that, we cannot understand. No, don't care about that. Language is something very easy. Even a child, 3 year old, 2 year old, they can do it. So we are now 18, 19-year old. We still can do it. Don't worry. See, one of the most difficult language in the world is Vietnamese. You can speak it fluently. See, and the very good news for you that Vietnamese, when we learn and speak English, we speak better than an American learning Vietnamese. You see, foreigners speaking Vietnamese, they cannot speak as well as us compared to us when we speak English. Okay, so be confident. Be confident. Okay, the fourth thing, I encourage you to integrate with some of your friends now studying at the Faculty of IR, so you can have more conversation, more friends. I know that in our class at Dakin, it's just a few students. The previous year only 4 students. Now they drop of only 2 students. Now this class is 13 students. It's crowded. It's crowded. But compared to the my class as the Faculty of IR, at least they have 50 to 60 students a class. So it's more. So trying to take advantage of this environment when you student Vietnam, make a lot of friends, so you can have better communication, better understanding of what they are learning. You can sharing experience with each other, and this is also considered as a good preparation before going to Australia, right? And I know the English in Australia is quite different. Um, Australia or about or something like that. Um, it's quite difficult, but you get advantage soon. English is very easy. It's like a bike or a bicycle you use to go to destination. That is not your destination. Okay, that is some point that I remind you when you study this major. Try to read. Okay, when I give you material for reading, try to read it. Now, continue with getting acquainted with each other. If you have any question, don't hesitate to raise it. Anything else you want to know about me? Or anything else you want to show me about you? And show your friends too. Right?
But I have a small question.
Yes.
Can you advise whether the textbooks should be read in paper or online? Because all the lecturers send us the PDF. So I was wondering if we should read it in paper or online.
I will give you in PDF, and it's your option. You can print it out or you can read it online. Actually, I give you PDF offline. You can download it and then you read it at home. Or you want to print it out, you print it out. For me, I prefer to read offline. I prefer to read books like printed version. For example, here.
Yes, thank you for your
Yeah.
advice.
So you have to familiar with this kind of textbook.
Yes,
Uh, it's quite thick. There's a lot, but you don't need to read.
enough.
But you don't need to read all of this. Okay. There will be some chapter that you take a look at that, and It's the book for references. So when you read a book, try to look at the content first and look at the chapter you need, and then you read it. Don't read all of that because those are the book of references. It's not like novel. You have to follow the story from the beginning to the end. No need. Okay, and that's why you can see almost of the materials in our major like that. There's
It's
300,
kind of
400.
like
Yeah, even in Vietnamese or in English, I can see if I have some book. Yeah, just show you one of my book. What?
we cannot see it clearly.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the book here. Uh, I published in 2008 on 2009.
Oh, you written it.
Yes, this is my book.
Wow, amazing.
It's a long time ago. Uh, Actually, I plan to publish another book this year, but because of the pandemic, I cannot finish it. But I hope I can publish it at the beginning of next year. The book about South China Sea. Also another book about South China Sea. Okay.
Well, we use one book in 1 year or 2 years.
Oh no. Yes. For one course, you might have one, two, three, four, five, any numbers of textbooks. They call it reading materials. Maybe only for example, in my course, I don't know. I can attach the file here. Uh, okay. Let me how to get here. Forward again to. No, 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 no. When I reply, can I reply all of you? No. No, no. I will try to send you an email again of the textbook for my course. We use only one textbook, okay, from the course. Did you receive the syllabus from the center? You received
No,
the syllabus for this course?
we received it from you, from the
Okay.
lecture.
Okay, I will send you the timetable. Actually, they say that I should update it on the LMS system of the center, but they also send me a message that you are not yet familiar with the LMS system, so send you an email directly.
It's not stable too.
Yes, technology is high,
Yeah.
but the capability to apply is not too high, right? Okay, okay. Anything else? Anything else?
Teacher,
Yes.
teacher. Yeah. So, what was your dream when you are a kid? When you are a child?
When I was a child, yes,
Yeah. What's your dream?
I have a dream to be a policeman.
Oh, I
Yeah.
want to be a soldier when I'm a child too.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be a policeman. The
What?
political policeman,
Mm.
actually. Yes. Because my father does. My dad is a policeman. He's a
Oh.
what did he say? It's political security. He's not a
Oh.
policeman of like in investigating. He's not a criminal policeman. He's a policeman of politics.
Oh. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he's in charge of religions. Religions. That's why when I was a kid, I learned in the church. I learned in the pagoda a lot because my father has a
Uh-huh.
very close connection to religions. There's a lot, and then I was sent to study at the church. I was sent to study at a pagoda. Even I have no religion, but I learned a lot from them. And I grew up. I had a dream to be a policeman, but then I could not. I could not be a policeman because my father did not want me to be a policeman.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that's the story why I am an IR today. You know, even in the high school, I applied for the examination to study at the University of Security, of People Security. But then my dad, I remember like 2 weeks before the examination. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. 2 weeks examination before the examination, my dad met me for the last time and asked me, okay, which school you apply to? Because as my time is different from your time. At my time, I can apply to different schools, and they have their own examination. It's not the general examination like you now. They have their own examination, so they're different from school to school. So we can apply as long as you have time to take exam. You can apply uh, as many as you want. And then I said that I applied for the University of People Security, and then my dad said no. Uh, I work in this. I work as policeman for more than 20 years already, and I know that it's not a good job. It's not a good career because you cannot earn enough to feed your family. And and he made a conclusion that, but I say no. That's because of you. Maybe I can be rich. I can feed my family when I'm a policeman. And he said, if so, you are not my son anymore. I cannot be proud of that. If you are a policeman, you have the salary from the government, and you are rich. It's a shame. It's a shame for me. So you will not be my son anymore. Then that was the very first time. I'm still touched. I'm still touched with that now. Even now, I tell you the story. I saw that my dad's eye is turned to cry almost. Uh, so I feel at that moment I was so stupid. I did not know anything. I say, yeah, maybe he really don't want me to be a policeman because of some reason. I could not understand that why he said that if you are rich by being a policeman is a shame. I don't understand at the moment. And then I changed my mind, and I accidentally chose the IIR, the Institute for International Relations. I accidentally chose it because it's in Hanoi. I said, okay, I cannot fulfill my dream. Okay, I just leave it. I just leave Ho Chi Minh City. I want to go somewhere far away and stay there. I stayed in Hanoi for 5 years. But then, thanks to my dad, thanks to that story, I can find my new dream, being an IR, and I fall in love with that accidentally. So being a teacher is not my dream job, but sometimes something you dream of, maybe it's not nice. When you're happy with your present, it's a present. Maybe you have a
Thank
lot of
you
dreams,
for
right? Oh,
sharing.
okay, Huni. Maybe you have a lot of dreams too, right? It's understandable. At your age, I also have a lot of dreams. Yes, everything has reason. Anything else? Mm-hmm. No? I reread the chat box, and I see that you said, Jamie, right? You watch my Facebook cover photo. So are you a friend of me on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm just afraid you.
When?
Yeah. Hours ago.
Hours ago. So I haven't accepted yet.
Yes.
Okay. How can you find my Facebook though?
I'm just took your phone now.
Yes. Yes, are you? Jamie. Oh, Thúy Thanh too, right? Confirm the person. Okay. Yeah, there's also a lot of information about me on Facebook too.
Yeah. So you are active social media person?
Not quite, but I am kind. How to say? I socialize. I'm socialized.
Yeah.
I like to have a lot of friends. Actually, I have a lot of friends and very diverse, different classes. Some of my friends died uh, because of a crime.
Yeah.
Some of my friends even in the prison. Uh, some of my friends now they are professor. They are nice researchers. There's a lot, very diverse. My life is very vivid.
So you. So at the first time I saw you, I was think about my uncle. So you look really like my uncle,
Ah.
and your style of talking and your learning is absolutely suitable with him. Like you are a lifelong learner and he is too. So now he 33 years old and he now live in Canada.
Mhm.
He do many job and I mean like he can do anything he wants. He live with so his slogan to live is with achievement.
Mm.
Like he loves to reach out the achievement a lot.
Mm.
So he also have been work in the UNICEF too and in the United Nations,
Mhm.
and he studied at the banking university in Vietnam,
Mhm.
but now he's working in the education majors and
Mm.
also some hospitality and also hospital too.
I see. Yes.
So yeah, it's really like you familiar with you. You do to every job, and you can do everything that you want like
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. That is
So
how.
in
That is how we enjoy our life.
yeah,
Don't
right.
don't stay at one place. Don't stay at one place. You have to challenge yourself, and then you can learn new
Mm-hmm.
things. And you can discover yourself. You know what you like. You know what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
That's better. And I hope the IR major is also one of the challenge of you yourself.
Sure.
Don't think about any achievement. Don't think about that after like being a scientist after only 4 years of undergraduate. Don't think like that. The 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 bachelor degree level is teaching you the the skill of the thinking skill, how to deal with the problem. That's it. And if you
Yeah.
want to be a scientist, you study further, master degree or PhD degree, and
Mhm.
then you that is when you decide to have a career as a researcher. But else, with bachelor degree, that's enough for you because you are training with skill. Skill is more important than knowledge.
Yes. Mm.
Okay.
So yeah.
If if you don't have any question, we move to the next part. I will introduce about the course. Okay.
Sure.
And this course is a very introduction. It means I introduce you some of the basic points of international relations and how can we deal with it. And actually, this is very important for you because it's a starting point for you to study any further courses and it's a tool for analyze further events in international relations. In this course, you understand what is international relation basically, and how can we explain the international relations. The the popular questions in IR is the question start with why, and this course will help you to raise the question, how to raise the question why it's like this, why it like that, and give you some of the basic understanding to explain. For example, they will ask why there was war between countries, right? We don't deal with the question what and how anymore. We don't talk about the World War II or the World War One. This country fight against this country on this day. No, no, no. We don't talk about that. But we talk about why they fight each other. What is the reason for them to fight? Why they have such behaviors in society? And now we see that they cooperate with each other. The countries start to focus on economic development. Why they do so? The more important question for us in IR is why, rather than what and how. What and how, that is when you study in high school. That is the popular knowledge. Now we have the major knowledge. We have a deeper understanding. It means we have to raise the question why. So start from now on. Uh, Try to train yourself with a new habit. Ask why. Anytime you see everything in your life, why you have to stop at the red light, something like that. You might know very well that okay, red light we stop. Why you have to stop at the red light? Okay. And when you raise the question why, you can learn more. So how is the answer? The answer occurred by you as well. Nobody can give the answer. You answer it. Okay? And I will instruct you, guide you the way how to answer it. Because with one question, they have a lot of different way to answer it. Okay? Why you go to study at this course, right? When I ask why you study at IR, there will be a lot of answer. Each of you will give me one answer, right? Everybody have their own reason to study IR. Study by accident, like me. I study IR by accident, or study because of my desire, or because I love history, so I study IR, or even because I hate history. I want to know what it is. I study IR. Something like that. There's a lot of reason. Those reasons because of your own context, your own situation. So then we have a lot of different answer. It's the same. It's the same for one question. Why US and China compete with each other? You can answer in your own way. Okay? You don't need to repeat the answer of others. You can have your own answer. So if you want to answer that, of course, you will have to know what it is. And you have to know how it's happened, how it is happening too. And then you can answer by your own way. Why it's like that? Okay. Yes, it's critical thinking. It's very important too. Don't don't just repeat the things that the teachers or the lecturer give you, or you read from the book. They say that 1 plus 1 equal 2, but I can say for sure that you have never ever questioned why it's 2. Is it right? You just accept it without any condition. You learn it 1 plus 1 equal 2, but you have never questioned why. What happened if I say 1 plus 1 equal 3? Right? You might say that, okay, if someone say 1 plus 1 equal 3, he's stupid. Yeah, or 1 plus 1 equal 1. So now in the university level, when they ask, especially in social science, they have no right and wrong. They just persuasive answer or not. You can persuade people or not. Okay. In natural sciences or in basic knowledge, popular knowledge, you might learn that 1 plus 1 equal 2. If you don't say that, you are stupid. But in our major, 1 plus 1 equal anything. Anything. Okay. So for example, I say like Jami said a while ago, that 1 plus 1 equal 1. 1 drop of water and plus 1 drop of water, we have another drop of water. Where 1 plus 1 equal 3. When you get married, you get a family, you get a baby, right? Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, or even 1 plus 1 equal 0. When you have a boyfriend, one boyfriend, you have one more boyfriend, and then they all know that you have two boyfriends. They leave you, then you have no boyfriend, right? You cannot get married with two men. Is that right? So 1 plus 1 equals 0. So 1 plus 1 equal anything, as long as you can persuade them. So in social science, there's no right, there's no wrong. They're just persuasive or not. So with the very first lesson, I will tell you in general how we do a research on IR and social sciences as well. What is some basic understanding and some mistake that we might face during our research, during our self-learning of IR. The second part of the course, I will give you some tools for analyzing the way you explain. And I will introduce 3 ways of explaining the word. They explain international relations in 3 ways, and I introduce that for you. They call it realism, liberalism, or constructivism. There's a lot of ism. Ism actually, it's just a way to answer. Okay, I will introduce that for you and explain why they do that. And I even give you a game to play with it. Yes, to join in that game, to understand what did scientists, of course, those who say about ism, and write a book about that, and now we read, they are not genius. They are not just stay and then think and then write. No, they observe, they watch the society, they join in the society, and they observe the society, and then they come to the conclusion with a formula, and they write a book about that formula, and we read it. They have to suffer on that way of acknowledgement. I want you to go the same way. The very bad thing about educational system, especially in the development society, is for saving times, they just give you the last part. That is the formula, that is the knowledge, and you have to memorize it. That is a bad way. Okay, the right way of learning is joining the situation, observing the situation from your own observing, and then it come into your mind, in your thinking, and then it will be your knowledge. I will give you a game to play, to join in the situation, and then you can imagine about that, and then you can compare your understanding to the understanding of some other scholars, like what Thucydides thinking about that time, and you know what Machiavelli thinking about that time. You can compare you yourself with Woodrow Wilson. You can compare what you think with Hans Morgenthau, with Kenneth Worth, with Immanuel Kant, with so many other scholars in IR, and you can find out their thinking is just normal. It's like your thinking. You can think like them. Don't worry. Okay? They are not genius. They are not from outside the earth. They still on earth. They're still human like us. Like us. Okay? So they are not smart. I'm sorry, they is not smart. And we are not stupid. Don't worry. We are the world. We are the children. Okay? And after that, I will apply some of the understanding in those kind of ism, realism, liberalism, idealism, or constructivism, in some of the way they explain about peace and war in IR. I know it's very difficult because this course actually in my faculty will be taught for the second year student. It means that the student have to study in advance the course of the world history, the history of civilizations, the philosophy, uh, and yeah, that's it. So they have to know about history first before studying introduction to IR. But because you are here in Vietnam for 2 years, just only 2 years, so that's why they put this course into the first year. I know it's very difficult, but I will try my best to design something that is suitable for you. Okay, and that's a very basic point. After studying this course, I hope that you can understand what is IR. It happens sometimes. Your families, your parents, your relatives, or your uncle, your aunt ask, "Oh, so where are you studying?" "I'm studying at USSH with Dakin." "Yeah, what's your major?" "IR." "What's IR?" "International Relations." "Huh? What is international relations?" Right? Your family will ask you that. And I hope that I can help you to answer them. You can give a perfect answer to them, and they make you proud. "I'm proud to be IR." Okay? And then you can give a lesson to them too. Come here, sit down. I will talk to you what IR is. I will explain you. Okay? Something like that. You understand this, and you understand how we can explain the things, how we can explain the relationship between countries and countries, how we can explain the role of United Nations, how we can explain ASEAN, how we can explain Apple, and how we can understand the importance of iPhone, etc. Anything you can have the capability to explain everything. Okay, especially the main point of IR studying from the beginning until now is the story of war and peace. Actually, the main purpose of IR studying is answer the question, why war and how peace? We will answer that. You can answer that too. Okay, that's the main purpose. For this course, the center asked me to give you the credit by the grades or the marks uh, the two types of grades: the midterm grades and the final grades. Okay. In my class, for nearly over 15 years of teaching, I have never ever taken attendance in my class. I really don't care about that, really, because studying is not my job. My job is teaching. So as long as I have one student, I can do my job. I teach. And studying is your job. So I really don't care about that. That's your job, right? So checking attendance, I really don't care. If you like the class, you go to the class. If you don't like, you have all the choice. Then you put a higher priority, do it. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I don't hate it either because that's not my story. Okay, you can do whatever you want in my class. For the grades, because of that, I really don't care about the grade. It's just a number. It's not important. The number is just in the paper. I care more about the knowledge because knowledge is in your brain. So I try to make it simple for you. Try to make it as simple as possible for you. So maybe I will give you one test to take a grade as a final grade. Okay, it's very simple test for 60 minutes. It's about 60 minutes. That grade I will take it as the final grade for the midterm grade. Um, let's say for the midterm, I don't know. Okay, I will try to make it very simple midterm test. Very simple. I will check your understanding of some of terminology, some key terms that you can find it in your textbook as well. And I want to make it more simple for you. The midterm test, when I give you that test, I just care that you can be uh, over 5 or under 5. Okay. If in that test you got the score more than 5, then your midterm grade will be your final grade plus 1. Okay. If in that midterm test your score is 5, then the midterm grade will equal to your final grade. If your midterm test score lower than 5, then the midterm grade will be equal to the final grade minus 1. You get it? So we don't need to put much effort on the midterm test. You just got over 5, then you can get the bonus 1. But then there's another problem is your midterm grade is not decided by your midterm test. It's just decide plus or equal or minus 1. Your midterm grade will be decided by your final grade. If your final grade is 9, then your midterm grade might be 10 if you can get only 5.5 in the midterm test. Right? Okay. Did you get my idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be easy. So you put effort in the final test only. You don't need to put effort in 2 tests. Just only one last test. For the final test, for the midterm test, You just put effort enough to get over 5. That's it. Okay. That's about the score. I try to make it as simple for you. And also, I hope that it's also exciting. It's simple but exciting. And of course, all of the tests will be conducted in English. Mhm. Okay. I think that's it. Anything so far you want to know?
Teacher, the midterm test is 60 minutes.
No, it depends what you like.
Yes. It will depend on you.
Okay. So don't worry about that. Don't.
Yeah,
I
okay.
know any kind of time, maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 60 minutes or 3 hours or 2 hours. Depends on that time. I will give. Yeah, I will give the question. So don't worry about the time. Yes, the more time, the harder it is. The less time, the easier it is. Don't worry. It's always fit. Okay. Anything else? Okay. And here, I forgot to ask that any one of you playing sport like badminton?
I
Like,
used to play in my high school when
uh,
I still live in my hometown.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
play
I
for
just
school too.
Me hometown. I
Oh, I'm not introduced yet. I'm
yeah,
from the land of Lady Mountain.
the Lady Mountain. You from the
let him.
Central Highland?
I'm from Tây Ninh,
Okay, okay. Then,
but I'm live in Ho Chi Minh City for 2 years, and I'm studying high school in there too.
okay. Because I also play badminton.
Wow.
Yeah. So I asked if you guys play in badminton. We can organize a club,
Oh,
and
great.
then we can play together. It's such a long time
Teacher,
I don't play. It's such a long time I don't play.
Yeah, me too. That's
teacher,
Yeah.
cool.
can you pass us a ball?
It's okay. Never mind. I stopped playing for more than 10 years already. Yeah.
So we can hang out together.
Sure. Never mind. Never mind. No, I'm young. I'm young,
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
I always consider that I'm your friends. I forgot to tell you that during 15 years of teaching, I have never ever using the pronouns teacher to talk to my student in Vietnamese.
Oh,
I never say in my conversation. Uh, I never say myself. Thầy, no. I just say mình or tôi. That's it. And I
Aww.
always call you các bạn.
Uh,
But in the recent
yeah.
years, in Vietnamese, there's so many students start to call me,
thầy.
yes, thầy, and then they
Hi.
say they call themselves con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Me
painful for me.
usually.
It's so painful. So don't use that pronoun to talk to me.
So
Okay?
That's a
what pronoun
liberal
talk to?
art.
Yeah. Just say em or tôi or anything you like. Don't say con. It makes me feel like I'm a certain old man, very old man. No. Okay? I'm your friend. So never mind. If you can organize a club, I'll join it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Let's say about this. I think I also have a video. Yeah, here. So nice, new friends, right? It's two. You see me 10 years ago. It's 10 years ago.
We cannot see. Are you shared yet?
It's on my chat box. Chat box. Can I share?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I saw. Why you don't share the screen?
It's I think it's easier for you to check it by yourself. You see me?
Yes, I see you.
Okay.
Yes, where is it? So,
Yes. Come on.
Oh, it's a big transformation.
Okay, I know it, but you don't need to tell it. Okay, I know it.
No, I mean like, yeah, it's amazing. Like,
So if you can organize it, please let me know. I'm happy to join with you guys. Yeah, sure.
okay, that's okay for you if you're happy right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Always happy with the present.
yeah, that's how everyone always to live in the present.
Yes. Okay. Those are the basic introduction about the course and how we deal with it, and about us. We introduce each other. Let's see. So this is the final call. That if you want to say anything else, it's still the time for us to know each other. Want to know more about the course? You want to know more about me? You want to know more about your friend as well here, because you are new to each other as well. So feel free to have that conversation too. And consider I am one of your friends in this class.
I was wondering if we do the test by quiz or essay.
Okay, for the midterm test, it's like an essay. It's not actually an essay. I give you a lot of short answer question. You answer the question and the short answer, a question and a short answer. That's for midterm test. For final test, the final test is there are maybe four types of exercises. It's a kind of multiple choice, also short answer, matching column, fill in the blanks, or short essay. I put
Okay.
Yeah. Usually the final test I will give a test with 5 or 6 pages. But don't worry, it's easy. 5 or 6 pages because it's long. The question is very long. Okay, don't worry. It's just the length of the question. Okay. Anything else? No. If not, we start a little bit with our very first understanding, the introduction to international relations. So please look at the slides, or you pin the slide so you can see it. This is the word map, right? I believe that is you're familiar with this word map, but later on, I will give you something else about this word map. Firstly, we have I introduce you an overview pictures of the word politics, of what it is in general, what is happening now, and what has is transformed and changed by the time. The structures of the word have been changed by the times, and what would it be in the future. So it's the trends and transformation of word politics. The scope of the lectures will explain you in general what changed in word politics and how we deal with it as a study, as a learner, as a researcher. When we study about IR in particular or social sciences in general, what is the problem that we might face when we learn? That is considered perceptions and the reality. What would be different? And some of the mistake we might face when we look at the people, when we look at the life, when we look at the IR as well. Then we examine the word politics and about the global future. That's the scope. Firstly, the very basic question you might face when you confront with your families and your relatives. Okay? They will ask you, what is international relations? All right? Now, this is the first challenge. As being a student of IR, your brothers, your sister, your relative will ask you that. Now forget about that situation. You will answer later. Firstly, I want you to let me know. Have you ever heard about the word international? A lot of times
Yes.
already, right? Remember when were the first time? When were the first time in your life hearing the word international? Right? International.
When go to the airport.
Airport, yeah.
Airport.
The same page.
The
Yes.
airport.
Airport.
Yeah.
International terminal, right?
Yeah.
International
That's right.
airport. Okay. So tell me also the story that now we turn back to your own history, your own story. At that moment, at the very first time you hear the word international, what imagine, what photo, what pictures or anything happen into your mind?
The word.
You- the word map,
Yeah, the
right?
word map. Yeah.
Anything else?
The club.
The globe.
And the globe. Anything else?
Yeah. And different people of skin color.
Yeah. And how about
Yeah.
the word international relations? When you heard about the word international relations, what image, what photo can pop up in your mind?
United Nations.
United Nations. Okay. It's pop up in Google, not in your mind. Ngọc Bảo, Bảo Ngọc. Is something happen that is something like this happen,
Yeah.
right? When we talk
Yes.
about IR, yeah, maybe
Mm.
this kind of photo. You know him? Do you know them?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, and I super like Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump
Very true.
and
Xi
Abe-san,
Jinping.
right?
Yeah.
Understand.
Or something like this.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. You know the guy on the right?
Yes.
yeah.
Jinping.
Xi Jinping,
Tập
right?
Cận Bình.
Yeah.
Yes. This one?
À,
Yeah.
Yes.
Vietnam.
Oh, very
ông
well.
Phú Trọng.
Okay. So, in general, when somebody say what IR is, or when you heard the word international relations, you might think of something like that, the United Nations or the handshake between the leaders. But I remind you that this is, for example, this is the handshaking, not not of Donald Trump and Xi Jinping. No, this is the handshaking of United States and China. Okay. Or in other words, when you talk about IR, the very simple answer, what it is the relationship between
Country.
nation and nation, countries, right?
Yeah.
Country to country, nation to nation. It's very easy to understand why you answer like that. Not only you, but anyone. If you go outside there, you ask some of your friends who's not majoring in IR, you ask them what is your understanding about international relations. They will answer yes, international relations is the relations between country to country. That is the easiest way to answer. That is the most simple way to answer too. And very easy to understand why they answer like that, because the word international actually coming from the root word is nation. Okay, the al at the back, it just make it to be an adjective. So basically the basic meaning of international is interaction between nations.
Mm.
So when we talk about international relations, yes, it's internation. That is the correct answer, what it is. But it's really not enough. Actually, it's really not enough. I will explain for you later why it's not enough. Now we continue with this flow, internation relationship. So how can we understand internation? What is internation relations? And what is not an internation relation? Okay. The basic the basic point for us to distinguish what is internation and what is not internation is the borderline.
Yes.
Is the borderline. Those interaction cross the borderline is internation. If there's an interaction not crossing the borderline, is not internation. The two politicians from different countries shake hands together. Yes, it's internation. But the two politicians, for example, uh, the president, the head of Ho Chi Minh City and the head of Tây Ninh province shake hands together, it's not internation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to understand what is international relations, they focus more on the states. That's the interaction between this state and the other states. Or we can say in general, the interaction between states with a very basic conditions. These interactions must cross the line, cross the borderline. Okay. So what kind of that interactions in our history? There are so many uh, judgments made by scholars For example, they say Winston Churchill said that the story of human being is the story of war. In the humankind, the basic, yeah, the civil war. Yes, that's right. That's right. But now I'm not talking about the civil war, but the war between states. So states have interaction, but what kind of interaction they have in the history? There's a lot of scholars make a quick judgment that the there's a lot of behaviors, right? There's a lot of different kinds of interaction between state and states. But the main kind of interactions is war in the history. Um, there's a video showing you um, about the history of us, of human being. Maybe I skip this part and I give you the history. I give you the link of the video. Hold on. Okay. Right. Copy link. Here it is. You can watch it later. You can watch it later. Basically, this is the history of the world from year to year. From year to year. Okay. So with that, maybe briefly. So it's like this. But when you watch the video on the link I gave you, they have some sound, some kind of sound. So like this, I will skip it, make it faster. You can enjoy it later at home. We can see that our word from time to time it transferred from the countries that widening and then narrow down and then widening and then there are some of the new country and then open it widening, for example, like that the Mongolian during the Yuan dynasty, and then become the Qing smaller and bigger and smaller, changing by time to time. And you can enjoy it later by the link I gave you. In general, after watching this, you might feel that the word, our word, have been changing. The very basic change is the bigger or smaller of each state and the country from time to time. That bigger or smaller situation mainly because of one reason: war. War. So that is why Churchill make a judgment that the human race history is a history of wars. But is that really like that? The war between states. So that's why we're studying about war and peace. Why war occur and how we can have the peace. Okay? And that is the relationship between state to state. But that is not enough. But that is not enough. Nowadays, in our modern life, when we talk about international relations, we can think of something else, not only state to state. So in your textbook, they just make a definition, IRA, the interaction among states, which is the state is something here they define, an organized political entity with a permanent population and well-defined territory and a government. Actually, I will talk about this later. I just continue my way of understanding about IR. So it's not only state to state. when we think more about the imagine and the photos can pop up in our mind when we talk about international, maybe you can think of UN or ASEAN or EU. They are not a state. ASEAN is not a country. United Nations is not one country. It's an organization, right? It's an IGO. It's an international organization, but it's also when we talk international, it's also including that. So the definition not only state and state, but also between organization to organization or state with organization. For example, we have the relationship between Vietnam and EU. It's also international relations. We have the contact between EU and ASEAN. It's also international relations. Furthermore, we can see that some of the products or some of the name of the company, when we talk about international, you can think of Apple, you can think of Samsung, you can think of Toyota, or such kind of company. They call it the transnational cooperation or multinational cooperation, the MNCs or the TNCs. They have branches around the world. And even we can find out that there's some relationship between one country and one company. For example, Vietnam signed agreement with Microsoft for providing the technology for e-government in Vietnam, for example. So in this relationship, we can see this is a relationship between a company in the United States and a government is in Vietnam. Okay. So international relations is not just the relationship between country to country, but it can be between really various actors. And those kind of actors can be divided into groups. First, state actor, that's a country to country. Okay. And the second group is non-state actors. Maybe company to company. As long as it fulfill one requirement, cross the borderline. As long as those relationships can cross the borderline, that is considered international relations. So nowadays, in the contemporary time, in our modern time, is more diverse compared to the beginning of IR. At the very beginning, the IR is just a story between country to country, state to state. But nowadays, it's the story from various actors. Okay. But anyway, coming back to our root definition, that is the correct definition in the past, but it's not enough now. So we change the definition. If you want to answer what is IR now, you can answer shortly and briefly. That is the relationship among actors with one condition, crossing the borderline. And then your families or your relative will ask you more. What are those actors? You can explain them, the actors including state actors and non-state actors. And you start to explain, yeah, the simple way. As a kid, they can see the state actor interaction with each other as a relation, international relations. But now, you are my uncle, right? You adult. I will explain to you more that also between the non-state actors as well, company to company, company to government, government to non-government, and some non-state actors maybe include religious, maybe including international crime like mafia, like yakuza, or terrorism. So we can see an act like United States under the Bush administration, he declared the war against international terrorism. So this kind of interaction between United States and international terrorism is also international relations. Okay, even though terrorism is not a state, terrorism is not a country. It's just a group of people without country, but it's still international relations. So international relations in our modern time is really more complicated, but it's still the basic unit. Even is a very complicated picture. The very basic unit that people more concentrate on is a state. Is a state. So what is the state? How can we define it? Here is the definition of the terminology. You can find in your textbook too. But in general, you don't need to memorize all of the things. You just remember 4 points. One state, there are 4 points. Firstly, the territory. Of course, if you want to be a country, you have to have land, right? Second, you have to have the people. You have the land with the people. So the first, territory, the second, population. And the third one, you must have the government to manage the people in the land, right? And lastly, you have the international relations with other countries. So these are 4 conditions of being a state, and is defined. These conditions are defined in the Montevideo Convention of 1933 as the article number 1 in Montevideo Convention 1933. As the article number 1, they list down 4 conditions. So it's not very difficult to understand, right? It's very easy to remember. Because one country, they must have land, they must have people, they must have the government, and they must have IR. They must have connection with others. Just there's some point is that about the land, the territory. How can we define the territory of one country? How can you know the territory of one country? The border.
A border, yeah.
Yes. You see, when you look at the world map, you know where is Vietnam, you know where is United States, you know where is Thailand, because of the borderline, right? The shape of Vietnam is the S letter. The shape of Italy is like number 7, and I'm sorry, and it's like a boot, right? And the number 7 is the map of Somalia, right?
Yeah.
And you know Chile is like Chile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chile is like Chile. So because of that borderline, so there's only one condition of the land is the borderline, the territory. And here the state they define here is the same. A well-defined territory, population, and government. They said organized political entity is the government, right? So that's how they define the state. These are the flow of international relations since 1648 until now. And basically, they have changed from time to time. That's why I said that you have to understand the world history before learning this course. But I don't know why they put this course in advance. And I think after this course, you will study the IR history later.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so maybe we save it in the IR history. If I have the chance to instruct you again, I will tell you the story of this. Even is a long history that is about 400, 500 years, but compared to our human being history, it's not too long, right? It's just 400 years. If you compare to the history of another nation, of some nation, they have 4,000 years of history. Compared to this, just 400 years. It's not too long, right? So let's see the basic flow and some of the milestone. Two agreements learned in high school. Yes, the Versailles, Washington, and IANTA, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. You will learn back. You will learn back and about those agreements, more about the Vienna Agreement. You learn more about the Westphalia system as well in the IR history. I hope. I hope that during the IR history course, I can deliver it. Okay. But here we have a lot of milestone that the words has transferred. I put they have a clear cut here from 1815, 1918, 1945, 1991. That is the milestone showing that our words have changed. But since the 1991 until now, since the 1991 until now, have the word changed? People start to think about it, try to debate about it. Have it changed yet? We change to the new system, or is there any clear cut? Since when we changed? After 1991, 2000, or 2001, or 2010, or 2020? It's not having clear cut yet that we have changed and how we change. So the world is changing. Maybe somebody say that yes, we have changed in 2001 with some very incredible event, a 911 attack in the United States, and raising a new war system again, yes, against the terrorism. Is that the world changing or not? If you want to understand that our system of international relations changed or not, we have to take a look at the three questions. In this system, what is the basic unit? If we change the unit of the system, it's a system of what? If we change it, that change the system. The 3 point. If we can design that whether the system is changed, first, whether they have changed in the basic unit, and second, the purpose of the unit in the system is what? In the relationship between unit to unit, what is the basic unit want? What do they want? And also, those basic unit, how do they do to achieve their goals, to achieve what they want? So there are three questions to decide whether the system is changed or not. If you want to know that whether our system have decided to change or not, for example, you have to answer whether the state still the basic unit in international relations. Is this still the basic one? When we talk about IR, can we get rid of the unit, this unit? IR nowadays is the system of state or the system of something else. It's not a system of state anymore, or it's still a system of state. Okay. This answer will decide whether we change or not. The second thing, you have watched the video that the main purpose of the state in the system is the territory, is the land. They conquer more territory. They want to open up their land. The conflict between the states mainly because of the conflicts of territory. How about it nowadays? Is it still the same like that? Or has it changed? The conflict between the states nowadays because of the land or because of something else? Okay. The conflict with each other because of that is a territorial conflict, or what else? And number three, the methodology for them to achieve the goals, the tools for them to achieve the goals. They're using the military power, they're using economic power, or in general, they're using their strength or power to accumulate or to achieve the goals, or what? Or what? They change or not? Or they still apply the military power?
They change.
So, yes, if someone see that it's changed, the state is not the primary actor anymore. Now the primary actors in the system, the United Nations, is ASEAN, or some kind of organization like that. The state is not important anymore. It means your view is, yeah, the world is changing. But if somebody say that, no, it's not changed. Before that and now it's still the same. It's still the system of state. Companies or organizations, they are still state. At the end of the day, UN is a collection of states. ASEAN is also a collection of states. Or even a company, Apple. Apple is a company of the US. It's still states. So that view will say that you can explain, you can say, describe that view is the view that the system of IA haven't changed yet. It's still the same like before. Okay. Of course, they are just a question. I raised the question for you, and the answer is you. You have your own answer, and you can see that the world has changed or not. Okay. You question yourself. That is your own view. So if you want to answer this question correctly, you have to look at the fact and the reality of IR. What has happened? What is happening now? You look at that, you observe that, and then you can answer. You have to compare the role of ASEAN, you have to compare the role of the US, China, of the states, of the international organization, or you have to compare the role of the non-governmental organization as well. It means that you have to look at the facts first. What is happening around the world right now? Okay, that's in the reality. Will help you to answer those three questions. But the way we look at the reality is also there's a problem for us to look at that, because the reality you are looking, is it the reality? The thing you see, is that the reality? There's some problem for us when we see something. Okay, now you are playing the role as a learner and a researcher. Of course, if you want to research something, you have to see it, right? You have to watch it. And the question here is, should we believe what we see? Or in short, seeing is believing. In Vietnamese, they have an expression, right? 100 times of hearing is not worth once of seeing. Right? Now you observe the world, you observe our system on the globe, and you can see something. You can use your eye to see something. And do you believe that the thing you see is the fact? For example, like this. This is the thing you see, but it's not a fact. Right? So almost of the thing people see, even from normal people, To a learner like you, students, to a researcher, the thing they see is not a fact. The thing they see is just a perception. That is just their imagination, just perception. So here's the problem. Your perception is close to the fact or not. That will decide your level of understanding. That will decide your research is accurate or not. Okay? Because what you see here, for example, you see like this, but it's not a fact. The fact is something over there. It's because you have different perspective and you imagine. Uh, this is just perception, right? Even if you don't believe in your eyes, you believe in your technology, the camera, right? Maybe the camera is not a human being. They will have no perception, right? They will take the shot exactly what it is. So it's more reliable, right? Do you think so? So you don't capture a thing with your eyes. You capture a thing with camera. It's more reliable. Is it right? So thing captured by camera is more reliable than things.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like this, for example, like this. Um, Yang Yi, tell me something. Tell me a story. Yeah. Mr. Ken, you know that yesterday Kanlin is doing this, doing that. I saw it. I saw Kanlin outside in the street, racing, racing in the street. Okay, tell me that story. And I say, are you sure? Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. Because that is perception of Yang Yi from what Yang Yi saw, right? But then Jami come to me and show me the video that she took from Kanlin yesterday. So which one is more reliable?
It's me.
Okay. The video from Jami is more reliable compared to the story from Yang Yi, right? Even though Yang Yi swear to me that what she saw and she told me the truth. Yeah, sure. Yang Yi told me the truth from what she saw. But compared to the video taken by Jami is more reliable, right?
Yeah.
But still, at the end of the day, the photo or the video taken by those kind of technology is still being seen by you and being judged by you. For example, like this. You cannot see the whole story. You can just only see what happened in the screen, you see? And in the screen, compared to in the real life, totally different. Let's see this photo, right? So you can only judge something by the screen. Even it's taken by the technology, but still it cannot be the fact as well. And when you watch the TV, you watch the video, you watch a lot of things on Facebook, on television, on YouTube, or anything. There's a very special hidden principle for those who making video. I know, I know very well. I did it. That is, you are not seeing what you see on the screen when you watch a video. You are seeing what they want you to see. They will show you what they want you to see. Okay, and there's a lot of techniques for a director, uh, to do with that, and then to make a video that telling that story, and you can only see what you see. So it means that it's not a fact. Even you have to see through the technology. That's really not a fact. I can give you this video and telling you my nice story for those who love traveling, right? For those who love traveling, like Nguyen Anh, right? I say, yeah, I share with you my story. I traveled to Europe last week. This is my photo. This is my video. Very nice, very nice. Europe, super nice. You should go there. And then you believe that I went to Europe, but in fact, it's like this. So you see that it's just only perception. The thing you see is not a fact. The thing you see is because what I want you to see. So when you are on the road of learning, examining, observing, seeing something, you have to be calm. And if you don't want to be cheated by those perceptions, if you don't want to have a wrong information, you have to get rid of some, yeah, the kun head. You have to get rid of some basic mistake of human being. Every one of us have that same mistake. And of course, all of the imagined, the facts outside there, it's like this. This is the fact. For example, this is the fact. This is the fact, right? And here, when it comes to your eyes, it's not a fact anymore. This is 100% a fact. Then come to your eye, you will translate it from your understanding, from your knowledge. You can call the name, you can call the color, you can describe it, and it come into your mind. And then you make a judgment, everything, blah, 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 blah. You analyze a lot of things related to this fact. But those things, when it start coming to your eyes, it's not become a fact. It's not a fact anymore. It becomes a perception. And they imagine in your eyes, in your mind, and that's perception, may be different from the fact here. May be different from the fact here. And it depends on the ability, the capability of your understanding and your knowledge. But you see this, and then the next day you come and tell the story to your friends. The story about the pig you see a while ago, those story is perception. And how close perception and the fact, how close it is, really depends on your knowledge. And if you can avoid some of the mistakes of human being recognition, of human being knowledge, we can get it. We are trying to make it close. Perception and the fact close together. Then we can have an accurate analyzing of the fact. And then we can answer correctly the 3 questions about IR as well. So what are those mistakes that all human beings, all of us made those mistakes? The mistake will be introduced to you next week. I think that's enough for today. Okay, we finish the class now. Okay.
Thank.
I will send you an email of the textbook. And no, not next week. We will see each other on Friday evening. Okay. So I think that's enough for today. Bye for now, and see you next Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.